Jenna, what more can you tell us about these struggles?
Yeah, Greeny, if there was not a CBA in place mandating that these guys have days off, I would be concerned for this entire group. That's how upset Arians was, because it's a pattern that is developed where after they have a day off, they come back and they just look completely out of sorts, totally out of rhythm. It is unacceptable for a Tom Brady-led offense to go 0 for 3 in the red zone. Guys like O.J. Howard and Rob Gronkowski were dropping passes on air. Howard also dropped a pass in the back of the end zone. We also saw a ball bounce out of Mike Evans' hands, and on what should have been a really easy dump-off pass to Leonard Fournette, he dropped it. So overall, just a really bad day overall. In fact, I would say there were fewer guys who didn't have drops than did. And this is something that Arians has identified, as I said before, as a pattern. And it's unacceptable for a group that knows that every single week teams are going to be gunning for them as defending Super Bowl champions.
Yes, this on the same day that we're talking about people making significant wagers that they're going to go undefeated this year. But maybe it's an opportunity, and you and I have talked about this, for Arians to preach this message, and maybe Brady too, about not becoming complacent. It sounded to me like there was a little bit of that in what the coach was saying as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I would also add this too. Maybe Brady wasn't at his best. He did get fewer reps that day. They had contemplated giving him a day off because they were in Canton. They got back at about 2 o'clock in the morning. They were there celebrating Peyton Manning's enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But I expect them to come out today and have a much better practice.
We'll find out. Jenna Laine always there when we need her. Cranky in Tampa. Not Jenna, but Bruce Arians and company cranky in Tampa today, and for interesting reasons. And I mentioned the wagers. You know, last week, Caesars Sportsbook reported taking 2 big bets on the Buccaneers to go 17-0 in the regular season. The first, $10,000 at plus 5,000 odds. That has a potential profit of $500,000. The other, a bet of $28,200 with odds of plus 3,000. That one carries a potential profit of $846,000. That's a lot of money that we're talking about here, and it's a lot to be risking on a very risky proposition, no matter how good you think they are. So, Acho, I'll come to you. How would you assess the odds the Buccaneers go 17-0?
Yeah, I think there's like a 2% chance that Tampa Bay goes undefeated. It's really hard in the NFL to be undefeated, period. I don't care how good you are. Now going to Bruce Arians and the way that he coaches, I love what he's doing. So I played for BA back in 2018, or really 2019 season with Tampa Bay, and back in 2013 and 14. This is typical Bruce Arians. What happens every single practice, after practice, he has an accountability sheet. He puts up mental errors and mistakes, and he names each player who made a mistake. That's great coaching. He's not letting anyone be complacent. But there are issues, drop passes, I understand that. It's not going to help you win a championship. But I think it's hard to go undefeated. I don't think Tampa Bay will go undefeated. It's just something that's hard to do in the NFL.
All right, so then let's identify then, if we can, where they're going to lose. If they're not going to go undefeated, then there's going to come a place in time when they're going to lose a game. So we all perused the schedule here. We want anyone who's out there who, listen, if you are so inclined as to take this to a place where you might be able to try and put some money where your mouth is, then go ahead. Let's see what the crew thinks. Acho, where do the Buccaneers lose their first game?
I'm going Week 7, Chicago Bears. I think Chicago has a great defense. Sean Desai is the new defensive coordinator. He'll get the defense back going. You may see Justin Fields by then. We're still figuring that piece out. I think that's another team that Tampa Bay may overlook. They played them tight last year, but who knows? I think Week 7, Chicago Bears, that's Tampa Bay's first loss.
Yeah, Bears actually beat the Bucs last year. That was the legendary, Tom Brady didn't know what down it was game that has now, it's comfortable to joke about after you win the Super Bowl. Jeff Darlington, where's the first loss going to come?
I'm going to say Washington, and that would actually come in the second half of the season, but I also kind of do believe you could throw a dart at a board here with the schedule on it and pick a loss. Bruce Arians, to Sam's point, is not necessarily, in my opinion, the type of coach that winds up going undefeated. Like, he's not Matt Damon in Rounders who's just going to grind out games and just slowly win. He's more like Mikey and Swingers. He's just going to double down. Like, this is a guy who takes risks. No risk it, no biscuit. Some days he's going to get blown out. Some days he's going to win. I'll throw the dart at Washington on November 14th as their first loss, but certainly I could see them losing a game before then if it came down to it.
I like your style, Darlington. I like the pop culture references that you somehow managed to work into all these. D. Wood, where's your old buddy Brady going to finally lose a game?
Yeah, Greeny, I go on week 3 against the Rams. And I can tell you the year after the Super Bowl is a grind because every team plays you like it's their Super Bowl. In a road game against the Los Angeles Rams, the Rams want to send a message to the rest of the NFC, and especially to the Bucs that, listen, we're here. Matthew Stafford is out there. They want to put on a show and send a message to the Bucs. So I got week 3 against the Rams.
Well, and you've all left out the most interesting one. You've left out the Super Bowl, or maybe the game that's even bigger than the Super Bowl. How about when it goes back to Foxborough? How about week 4 against Belichick and the Patriots? Listen, I can make a case. First of all, D. Wood's game is the week before that, so they've got a road game in L.A. on a Sunday, a long flight back to the East Coast. Then they've got a work week, and then they're going on the road to play the Patriots in a game that if you think Brady wants to win that game, Bill Belichick would give up all of his rings to win this game. Come on, D. Wood, you know it. Bill Belichick is going to throw the kitchen sink at the Buccaneers. I got Belichick to win that game against Bucs and Tampa. Tom, what do you think, D. Wood?
I think Bill will sell his soul for that one. I think he will sell his soul on national television.
Is Bill playing quarterback?
Man, he's going to want that game.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.